The fourth tool is called empowerment and trial and error. It is related to the principle discussed above, which is to let the grassroots have decision-making power. For example, if a grassroots employee wants to sign a cooperation agreement with someone else, and it requires 3 levels of approval, this person might want to leave. Because talented people are the least tolerant of bureaucracy, they feel that pushing things forward is too difficult, so they leave. So, who are the people left in your organization in the end? We call them obedient little white rabbits. These employees are very satisfied with the organization because they are unwilling to take responsibility. When you ask them to report, they get a chance to rest. They report it up, wait for the approval from above, and then wait for when we can do it. So, they are very satisfied with a monthly income of a few $1,000s. These people are actually the ones with higher job satisfaction, but the overall efficiency of the company will gradually decrease. Therefore, empowering and allowing our grassroots managers to continuously try and make mistakes is the root of an organization's vitality, because you don't know which trial will save everyone. And liberate the entire company. The last tool is to let the organization grow. When you discover a highlight, after going through the trial and error and empowerment process, when you find a highlight within the organization, you should start nurturing it, give it more opportunities, and give it space isolation. For example, if we have a new business, we tend not to let the new business work in the same office as our headquarters, because the result of working together is that it will be strangled by the old business. The old business will strangle the new business because the new business will more or less have a certain subversive nature which will affect the old business. And the old business is the lifeblood of the company, so people from the old business will spare no effort to suppress the emergence of new business. So it's best to keep the new business a little further away. Just like WeChat must be based in Guangzhou, not Shenzhen, it's the same reason. Apple's phone business and computer business are also completely separate. This kind of spatial isolation will slowly allow the organization to grow, giving it more opportunities and a tendency to allocate more resources. This is what I wrote in this book about the 5 methodologies of biological organization. Apart from the strategic methodologies mentioned earlier, in terms of management, I summarize it into a sentence that Peter Drucker once said, "Management is about maximizing the goodwill of others." We use tools to inspire goodwill among everyone, teaching you how to speak more politely, professionally, and standardly. This was one approach. Today, I am trying to condense it into a more practical tool for use in the Extremistan, which is to understand what goodwill is. I often think, what is goodwill? Is it cleaning up together, or donating and teaching in rural areas together? Actually, it's not. Goodwill is about inspiring employees' growth mindset, encouraging them to see issues from a long-term perspective, rather than just the immediate gains. If an employee only thinks about the present, they will consider immediate gains and losses, overtime pay, and fairness in every action they take. However, if they can look a bit further ahead, they will consider what they are learning, whether their actions align with ethical standards, and how their reputation will be affected. They will have the mindset that they will meet their colleagues again in the future, that there is a long road ahead, and this perspective will guide their actions more positively. Do not treat employees as your own property. Believe that they will leave you one day, and you hope they will be better off after leaving. When you have this mindset, your employees will genuinely feel your goodwill. When employees see that those who have left the organization are all doing well, they will not quibble over overtime pay. If an employee sacrifices a valuable relationship just to earn a bit of extra pay, wouldn't that be a pity? However, if they can maintain a lifelong, positive mentor-friend relationship with a boss they respect, isn't that much more beneficial? This approach will more effectively inspire goodwill among employees. On this basis, we need to rethink KPIs. KPIs are very rigid, and if an organization has extremely rigid indicators, it will lead to a lot of behavioral changes. I have delivered courses in many companies, and I have never heard of any company saying that their KPIs are very good, and that all employees support them or are very happy with them. No one. Why? Because KPIs are rigid. They are important indicators of a mechanical organization. Just like measuring a car, You cannot do without indicators such as the car's displacement, tachometer, and speedometer. They must be accurate because it is mechanical. And through these numbers, you know whether the car is good or bad. But if you were to say that our organization is particularly good, what makes it so? Is it because our attendance rate is the highest in the world? With 100% attendance, not a single day missed? Or perhaps our organization reads the most, with everyone reading every day, the highest number of words read per person in the world. Does that mean it's definitely an organization that will make money? Not necessarily. No single simple indicator can determine whether an organization is good or bad. But conversely, if you set a rigid indicator for this organization, what do you think will happen? People's behavior will distort. Employees will do everything they can to meet that indicator, regardless of whether other tasks are completed or not. They will even falsify data just to meet that indicator. So, many organizations present reports that make it seem like they've achieved their goals, that they've been successful this year, but in reality, the organization is deteriorating, getting worse and worse. This part of my talk is based on a book I hope many of you have heard of, called Chaos. In that book, it explores in detail why KPIs often lead to a policy from above, countermeasures from below situation. In the past, we believed that managing employees in an organization was a zero-sum game. If employees earned more, the organization earned less. So, in the past, capitalists were always in conflict with labor unions, trying to withhold wages, making employees work longer hours, and giving out fewer bonuses. The result was that employees would slack off, damage machinery, and ultimately make your company worse off. In reality, we should be thinking about how to help employees earn a little more, how to make them a bit more successful. If they are doing well, the organization will correspondingly do well. All of this comes from how to inspire more goodwill from employees.